La Muse malade, deuxième strophe. Le succube verdâtre et le rose lutin t'ont-ils versé la peur et l'amour de leurs urnes? Le cauchemar d'un point despotique et mutin t'a-t-il noyé au fond d'un fabuleux manturne? The greenish succubus and the pink dwarf, gnome, or goblin, have they poured out fear and love from their urns or vases for you or on you or to you? The nightmare with a despotic and mutinous fist, has it drowned you at the bottom of a fabulous minturno? So vocabulary: succubus, succube, and lutin are both mythological creatures, so it's hard to define too clearly, but one fun thing when you're learning complicated vocabulary like that is to do a Google image search. Just search out images to get an idea of what sort of visual is likely to come to mind when a native speaker hears these words. And with these in particular, it's a fun search to do. Minturno is in Italy. It's south of Rome, and Baudelaire here appears to be referring to an episode in Plutarch's Life of Marius, when Marius, on the run, hid naked, submerged in some swamps in that area. So basically a way to say swamps. Grammatically, we have a lovely illustration in this stanza of a nitpicky grammar rule in French. Remember, the passé composé tense can be conjugated with either avoir or être as the helping verb, depending on the main verb. And when the verb calls for avoir, as is the case with both of these, verser and noyer, then usually the past participle doesn't need to agree with anything. It's unmodified, as in example 1 here. Have they poured, so have they poured, these two things, peur and amour, are the direct objects being poured, and they pour them onto or for you. Te here is an indirect object. The female muse is the te, and verser is just in its standard form. The only time you have to have agreement in passé composé with avoir as a helping verb is what we have illustrated in example 2 here, when a direct object precedes the verb. And here, has it drowned you? To, in this case, is a direct object, and since it's right up front, to, being a woman muse, noyer, the past participle, has to agree, and that's why we have an extra E at the end here. To, of course, can be either direct or indirect object pronoun, and in this stanza we have one of each, and that's why, even though it's the same construction, our past participle in the first example doesn't agree with the muse, and in the second example it does agree. And this little T right here, by the way, doesn't mean anything. It's what's called une lettre euphonique. You'll see it especially when a third-person pronoun, il, elle, or on, wind up with a vowel right before them, as it did here. Ta, il would sound bad, so we throw in a T to break it up and make it sound better. So, t'a-t-il noyé instead of ta, il noyé.